This is episode 2 of
Numero.
Updata.
No, fuck. Oh.
Chase Combs almost just fell back in his seat.
Oh. But I hit my toe instead.
Anyways, we are going to talk about what we talked about last week, and that is film and video games, starting with film.
Every week. It's going to be like that every week.
Or do you want to switch it? We can switch it.
No, it's fine. You go ahead, man. If you got stuff lined up.
All right.
We're all ready.
I would like to talk about today something I saw on Netflix. It is a 3-hour movie, and it's an old movie. It's nothing new. But it is Leonardo DiCaprio played in it. And he's the main character. It's called Gangs of New York. Have you seen that?
No, I have not.
It is a very
Probably
long
not
movie.
if it's a 3-hour movie. I'd be less inclined to watch it.
Going into it, I had low expectations because the cover of it just kind of, I don't know, lost my interest.
Yeah.
And so it is brutal. Like, it's based in first things first. It's based in like around the Civil War, but in New York. So around when Lincoln was abolishing slavery.
Yeah.
And so it was like there's some racist shit in there.
Oh.
But I thought it was a good story. It's a nice story.
Okay. See, I thought when you said Gangs of New York, right? That's the title?
Yeah.
I was thinking modern, or at least 1900s.
Yeah, it's got a title like that. It makes you think like thug shit.
So what's the gangs then?
It's all right. So there's like 5 gangs of New York, and I don't know why I'm blanking on it. I honestly like the movie, but
it wasn't that good, was it?
But it starts out as like Leonardo DiCaprio's character is a little kid, and his father is like the head of a gang, but it's like a priest, Christian, like Roman
a cult
Catholic
sort of thing.
No, Roman Catholic gang, and he's trying, I don't know, I guess fight for his territory against this guy. It's pretty much an avenge plot. Like, he avenges his father against this other leader of a gang. And I don't know who the antagonist is, but there's a lot of, that I forget the guy's name. He played in Step Brothers and Talladega Nights. He's like the curly headed guy.
Oh no!
He is in it. He plays a small part, but for some reason they threw him in there.
They just threw him in there.
And there's Cameron Diaz is in it. I'm a big fan of her.
Of course she's in it.
I love her. She's great.
Wait, so what?
Yeah.
So why is it actually a gang?
Yeah, they're gangs. It's like 5 gangs that lead the New York around that time.
Is it gangs that we know of today?
No.
So
I
it's more
had
like
no common knowledge of anything.
It's more.
I don't even know if it's based on a true story, but I liked it.
Is it more of like political groups?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, they're brawls. They brawl a lot.
But if
there's a lot of politics in it, though.
Yeah. See, that's what I was thinking. When did you know when that was released?
I don't know when that was released. I saw it on Netflix, and I don't do that much digging into that.
3 hours, dude. Jesus.
Yeah. I was thinking going into it, I was like, okay, well, I'm probably going to get tired of this really quick and then maybe come back later and watch it. But I sat there and watched the whole thing.
I don't know. I can't do that. That's too long just sitting there watching. Does it have okay, let me ask this. Does it have a satisfying beginning, middle, and end?
Yeah.
Or does it drag its feet?
It does. No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It's pretty hardcore for an older movie.
Mm-hmm. So you could sit there and watch it. It wasn't like you weren't losing interest.
No, I never lost interest. It had a good plot to it.
Mm.
What else do I want to talk about? I haven't seen. I really want to get into this, like, because they're making like a connected unit, not a cinematic universe, but it's a connected film. And I haven't got into these films yet, but I heard that Split was related to a movie called Unbreakable with Bruce Willis.
I mean,
you know nothing about it, right? So, they're kind of like, I don't know, independent films.
Yeah.
So they're not as popular, but it's something to do. Have you seen the previews for Split though?
You'll have to remind me.
It's like this guy. Do you know the guy who played Professor Xavier in the newest? Yes. Yeah, he's the main star of Split.
Okay.
And he's like got multiple. It's kind of like a creepy vibe to it. It's like multiple personalities, and he's gonna become something at the end of the film.
Thing?
Yeah.
Where he's kidnapped some people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah, I wanted to get into that, and they said it's related to what?
Who directed that?
Some Indian director.
Shyamalan.
I don't know. That sounds right.
I think it was him, and I just couldn't do it.
Why?
Because of what's that? That horror movie where the kids go to the grandparents' house and they're filming the entire thing.
I know what you're talking about.
Like a mockumentary type of deal.
It was.
I'm about to just look it up.
just look it up.
That movie, like the twist. I don't know. He makes me mad.
I guess the main thing on this podcast I'm going to talk about is films I've discovered on Netflix, because there was another one I saw while you're looking that up. Another one I saw called It Follows, and it was kind of like a scary movie.
Mm-hmm.
But
I've seen that. Yeah.
You saw that?
That was such a weird movie. The Visit. It's called The Visit. Okay, that's the one that really creeped me out. It was just weird.
For those who don't know, I am not a fan of scary movies.
I watch a lot of them.
You do?
They're like my guilty pleasure. I don't know why. I just enjoy being scared, I guess.
Yeah. Well, It Follows, I thought was like, the plot didn't make sense sometimes. No. It was, and I kept on like, it was very slow. And so I kept on like trying to like guess what was going to happen next, and then I was way off. And I was like, my version was better than what just happened here.
I could make a better It Follows.
Pretty much. I was sitting there thinking, this movie could have been made so much better.
I don't know. How? How do you think that could have been made better? It's just such a obscure topic for a horror movie.
I don't know. You saw the ending, right?
Yeah.
The ending where you see somebody in the background following them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that part was... I thought that was the best part of the movie.
Really?
Ending. Yeah.
Why?
Okay, so there's this one scene, they're in a pool, right? And they're going to electrocute this thing.
Yeah. This is so funny.
They really didn't think this through. Because obviously it's some kind of ghost or curse or whatever, and they acted like it was some kind of zombie that couldn't think for itself. So...
They're ready. So the girl that it's following, she's swimming in the pool, just waiting for it to come in, and then they're gonna like light it up once it gets in.
Yeah.
But then it just starts throwing all the electrical equipment into the pool. Like they have a TV and just chunks it at her.
Oh my god! I was just like,
what? This is so random. Like,
yeah.
Not only that, but the location where the pool was. It was, I am a horror movie set.
Yeah.
This is where we go now. It looked like a mansion.
And there was some kind of dialogue that was like right before that scene that her friend was talking to her, and she was saying something about how we're not supposed to go in the city, and it was stupid.
The city.
Something about like, I think it was based in Detroit. because it was like 14 Mile or something like.
Mm-hmm.
And
well,
they basically just talked about not going, how their parents wouldn't let them go into the city, and now they are, like they're big and bad or some shit. And I was just thinking, like, that was stupid. That didn't even need to be in there.
how they can't go into the city.
Well, how their parents used to not let them, or something like that.
Oh, they were like reminiscing. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they were all traumatized, so I guess they were trying to get away from all those dark thoughts. When the whatever the monster thing was, like they were at that beach place, that beach house, that dude's beach house,
Mm-hmm.
and the dude they all hide in this garage type deal.
Yeah, like a shed.
And the monster comes up, and he's like some giant dude. Right?
Yeah, he's tall.
He's huge.
Yeah.
Like, that legit freaked me out. He was abnormally huge.
And another big thing that I was like, fuck this movie, is that guy, she goes to the hospital, and that guy sleeps with her to kind of get it, and then he walks up to him like a day later and says, well, nothing happened. I guess it wasn't a big deal.
Yeah,
or
he
something
acts
like that. And then she sees that creature running into his house.
Not even running. It walked.
Yeah, it walked. It just kind of fell in his window.
It flopped into the window.
And so she runs to go save him, and she sees it, and then he opens the door, and it's his mom. Yeah, like it's transformed into his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like,
what?
What do you want? What?
What do you want? And then it just jumps at him.
And I thought it was like so like unusual. This thing got on him and started banging him.
Well, yeah.
As his mother.
It's not really his mom.
I know,
that's
but
it's a sexual disease. I mean, I don't really know what else to call it. It's like a sexual
it's like
zombie.
a spiritual STD.
In zombie form.
Yeah.
I don't really know how it kills him. How it kills people, though.
I don't know. It just kind of leaped on him and started banging
And then
him.
he was on the
lifeless.
floor and then he was dead.
Yeah, he was lifeless.
No, they didn't even like rip him up or anything.
No.
Well, except for that girl at the beginning. Remember that?
Oh my god.
She got
that
destroyed.
She's like over with her leg like snapped in two.
The wrong way. Nothing happened like that in the movie.
No. What else is going on? There's this.
Oh man.
What?
No, keep going.
There's this. I think underrated. Okay, well, I say underrated, but I only showed it to 2 people, and then they fucking hated it. And I loved it.
Uh-oh. Don't show it to me.
I already did show it to you a couple episodes.
What is it?
It was what's that one show? The Get Down.
Oh.
The Get Down.
I only saw that one episode.
Yeah, you
That's
did.
so. Well, it's just so long for each episode.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's like a movie every episode. So I loved the plot. There was like in the second season or second part, they always do it in parts now on Netflix. But they it started getting really cartoony. Like they had like little transitions to the next scene, and it was like cartoons, and I didn't like that.
Yeah.
But the overall plot because I'm a hip hop artist, so the overall plot is like the start of hip hop, and I appreciated it. Mm-hmm. But it is fiction. It's like not real, but they do have like Grandmaster Flash in it and stuff. So, I mean, I thought it was like a reimagining of the beginning of hip-hop, and I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I guess that's just me because everyone fucking said they hated it.
I mean, I enjoyed the first episode, but it's really hard for me to watch a series that has like over hour-long videos for each episode.
Hard to keep your attention. There were some parts that were slow, but I loved it.
I mean, I'd have to set aside a lot of time to watch, to try and watch it. But it was interesting. I liked it. I did want to talk about a movie, actually.
Well, all right.
Horror movie, but
You're kind of in my space, Chase.
Okay, well, I didn't want to talk about it, actually.
I'm just messing with you.
Joke's on you, buddy. It's not a recent one, I don't think. It came out last year in 2016. It's called Last Shift.
That sounds familiar.
Well, what happens is rookie police officer is tasked with watching over the old police station because they have radioactive materials or something that they got to ship out. And so she has to watch over and make sure no one comes in and steals anything. So it's an empty station. All the other guys are in the newly modeled one, wherever that is, and it's really creepy. There is some spooky stuff that goes on. It's like never ending.
What else? What else? I mean, what's the
scare?
Thing? Yeah. What's the scary
the main
thing?
scare? Well, it's haunted because this crazed family that the main character's dad arrested before killed themselves in the holding cells that are in the police station. And so the whole place is sort of haunted and possessed. It starts off really not slow, but there's this hobo that just keeps coming in, and he acts so out of it. He's like delusional.
When was this movie made? How old is it?
2016. So it's
a new one.
Pretty new, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it was so good after it got started. I can't tell you how creepy it was because it's just blank. It's just a white police station. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
White walls and stuff like that, bright with the fluorescent lighting. It's amazing. I'd recommend anyone who enjoys a good scare to watch it because it's pretty spooky at the end. And they do have some good plot twists here and there, especially at the end. I didn't really like the ending too much, but we won't talk about that.
I just remembered there. I'm going to talk about one of my favorite movies for a second. It was on Netflix, but they took it off. I hate that.
What is it?
It is called Deuces Wild.
I haven't heard of it.
You haven't heard of it? It's like based in I don't know. It's like old timey, with old fashioned cars and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It's based in I think Brooklyn, maybe. And there's these gangs that I don't know if you like stuff like The Godfather. It's kind of like mafia style, like
mobster.
Yeah, and it's what the story is this guy. Well, there's these three brothers, and at the beginning, one of them dies because one of the other gangs in the city gave him like a hot shot of like the heroin or whatever he was addicted to, and so like that starts everything, and it's kind of like there's this rivalry because after his brother died, he started running his own gang. And basically said, no drugs on my block. Mm-hmm. And it's got like a really good cast. And it's like a lot of them were just starting out. It's got James Franco. It's weird because like the main characters are like, you probably would have never heard of them. Mm-hmm. But it's got Frankie Muniz. What's that guy's name? He played in Boondock Saints.
Oh, no.
He's like the crossbow guy in The Walking Dead.
The crossbow guy?
Yeah.
Well, I don't really watch that. But is that
they'll know what I'm talking about.
Daryl or something?
Yeah, that guy.
Okay.
He's in it. He's like the bad guy. He plays a really good bad guy in there. Matt. I forget his name. No, it's not. It's not Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Dillon.
Oh.
And There's some hot actress. I forget her name too. There's a lot of people that you probably wouldn't know the name of, but you'd be like, I've seen them before. Mm-hmm. And it's one of my favorite movies, and it pissed me off when they took it off Netflix. And then I've kind of like, I don't want to shed out the money to buy it on Amazon or anything, and so I just kind of been asking, and people just forget. And I don't know. It's one of my favorite movies ever, and they do some thug shit for their time.
How old is it?
It's I want to say it was made in the 90s.
Actually, no, that doesn't make sense. Why they would take that off? That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Was there controversy around it?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, even if there was, it'd be too late. I don't know why they were making it. Maybe they're just cleaning it out.
I guess no one was freaking watching it.
That's really weird. Yeah. Oh, that might be true as well.
Yeah.
Because I know Twilight.
What's his name? The Jackass guy. Johnny Knoxville's in it. Yeah.
That's what?
Yeah, Johnny Knoxville
That's
made
weird.
it into that film.
Is it?
He's on the bad gang.
What
too.
is it? A drama?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would never expect him to be in a drama.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I loved it. So I think we're gonna start your segment now.
All right. Let me get up my note cards.
All right.
So coming up in a few weeks, Middle-earth: Shadow of War is going to be released. And this is probably my most anticipated game of 2017, period. Once I saw the gameplay trailer, I knew it was meant to be.
Yeah, you know? I'm anticipating this also.
Love at first sight. So, for those of you who don't know, Shadow of Mordor was the first game, the one before this, before Shadow of War. And the main story, it starts off with a man named Talion, who is a ranger of Gondor, who is responsible for guarding the Black Gate. He is then an orc. Sauron's army then invades the Black Gate, kills his family and him as sort of a sacrifice or offering or ritual to try and bring Celebrimbor and like fuse him to Sauron.
Yeah.
But instead of that happening, Celebrimbor fuses with Talion.
Yeah.
So you have this plot of a wraith who's keeping a dead man alive. So the dead man, Talion, just wants revenge. He wants to get back at Sauron for destroying his life. He killed his family, his wife and son. And you have the Ringmaker, Celebrimbor.
This is based off Lord of the Rings, right?
I'll get into that because it's a little dicey when it comes to this. So, and then you have Celebrimbor, who doesn't really remember what he has done or who he is. So you pretty much go through the game trying to figure out who he is while trying to stop Sauron's army. The timeline for this is said to be between The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings.
Kind of what they did with The Force Unleashed. How they did it in between, yeah.
But it's still a little weird, janky, because it's really non-canon. Like, this stuff didn't happen.
Right.
That much has been said by the developers.
Too much would have been affected.
I think it's something had to do with copyright. They had to do their own thing. The developers, they could run with the license and the world and stuff, but they had to, make their own story. So unfortunately, a lot of things are sort of retconned in this sense. And so now, at the end of Shadow of Mordor, the Talion leads an offense against Sauron, and he only manages to defeat like his bodyguards, I guess. Yeah. I forget who they are. It's like the Hammer, the hand in the tower, I think. So that's where it left off for Shadow of Mordor. For War, it continues that. Talion is still infused with the Elf Lord, but they forge a new ring of power, which Celebrimbor believes that they can control to avoid becoming a Dark Lord. So, and instead become a powerful king. So we get into the main mechanics of this. In Shadow of Mordor, the big defining mechanic of the entire game was the Nemesis system, where you would be facing Sauron's armies, who would there was 2 areas, so they had a separate sort of army for each one. You had like 16 or 15 captains for each area, and 5 war chiefs, which were above those captains. So what would happen is all of these orcs are randomized. None 2 would be the exact same as in another person's. And what would happen is you would encounter these orcs to either gain intel about a war chief or something, gain intel about another captain, or just straight out kill them. Or another mechanic, you can brand them to your side and essentially control them from there. More on that later. But this system allowed for a fluid character interaction where the character could basically create their own stories by interacting with these orcs, like killing them or something. There's a high possibility that when you kill an orc captain that they won't die and they'll come back. So I had that happen in a game, and this guy was named Booth Sawbones, I think. And he had all these he had like an apron on him with all these fingers and limbs and stuff, and a giant shield and spear. I killed him the first time because he was a bodyguard for a war chief. So I was trying to thin the ranks a little bit, right? Then once I killed that war chief, I went on to another, found his bodyguard who was doing a like a beast trial sort of deal, trying to kill a bunch of ghouls. And I was waiting for the right time to strike. I was just watching from like bushes, and I hear this orc say, "I think I heard something," and I turn around and Booth is there, and he's just walking around looking, and I'm like, "You're gonna mess everything up. I need to take care of this guy." So I turned and I was like, "Okay, we gotta face him first. We gotta get this distraction out of the way before he alerts all the other guys and mess up and get them alerted and see me." So I face him. He's noticeably a little different. He's got his veins are popping out of his skull.
Yeah.
And his eyes are this pale blue. So
that's what I like. I really like that.
Yeah, that
feature
they
about
changed.
That game.
So I just sliced him up, and I left him for dead.
Like, what up, boy?
I don't have time for you right now. So anyway, I killed him. Then I ran over to the other guy and killed him. That was the last I thought I'd see of Booth.
These guys just keep.
It's insane.
Always. You never know who's going to come back and how many times.
When they're going to come back. And so then I was facing another guy who had this flame thing on his head.
Yeah, like a crown.
An iron. Yeah. It was like an iron crown with a flame smoldering in the middle of it. And I killed him. And then out of nowhere, I hear, "Hey!" Booth is just like flaunting. Yeah, Booth is flaunting himself. And he strikes me. And I face him. And he's got this burlap sack on him with rope all around it, like holding his face together.
Oh.
It's so gross, and it's just out of a horse. He looks disgusting now.
When I played through it, there wasn't that much going on. I guess I just like got a different thing where there wasn't much going on.
You might have The problem I found was if you fully execute them, you know.
Yeah, that's what I always did.
I think they have a lower chance of respawn or like coming back if their head gets cut off in the animation. I think that dramatically increases whether they'll come back or not. So he comes back, and unfortunately this time I'm in a stronghold, which I thought I'd be running out of. So by now I tried to face him. He was beating me up pretty well, so I just ran off. So he's still prowling the area, and I've managed to mess up a few guys. There was one war chief whose bodyguard I completely destroyed. He was like Horza the Runt. And I managed to slay him, I think. And when I went to face the war chief, there he was at his side. He had all these like gashes though in his face and his body. It was really annoying.
Yeah. When they come back, does their power increase?
I think it might change their abilities a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't think it changes their power. They might increase in power. Yeah. But from what I noticed, it didn't really make much of a change. Yeah. So, usually you'll have to die to them or send a death threat their way. So anyway, that's how the Nemesis system would work. Oh, actually, one other thing. There was another guy in my one playthrough I had who, he was just like a one-off villain. And I just killed him, and I was done with it. Yeah. Then he came back, and he was missing an eye, and I killed him again. This time I used like a nearby fire camp, and he died that way from burning. And then he came back, and his body was scarred with burns all over. And I was really impressed by that. Yeah. I was like, okay, dude, you're pretty cool.
This guy means business.
I need to kill you now. Basically, that's what that means. And so I killed him again. And I'm running around this map looking for a bodyguard of this war chief. And he comes back again. But this time he's got, it's not a sack really. It's more like a cloth or something that's like wrapped around him. And he's just grunting. He's not even talking anymore. He's just...
kind of like a zombie.
It's either a zombie or he's just lost it. He just wants to kill me at least one time. And at the end of the last mission in the entire campaign is you face off against the one orc that you've... attack that's your nemesis essentially. Yeah. That's you've had the most interactions with. And he was there again, still grunting. I just thought it was really cool. That's the stories that I liked about it. Yeah. The other mechanic, branding, was very weak though. Yeah. Very weak. So you could brand a captain and they would essentially be under your command. And you would be able to send them out to a mission to either gain more power or try to become a war chief's bodyguard or become a war chief. Yeah. However, it's like their personality disappeared completely. Yeah. They were just a husk.
Yeah, they're brainwashed. Mm-hmm. It's less fun that way.
It was. I would get like dialogue options, or not options, but they would be saying dialogue like, I think I heard the ranger around here or something, even though they're my guy, but they're acting hostile. So it just sort of took me out of it a little bit. I was expecting more, this is my buddy. Yeah. You know, these are my boys.
My boys.
These are my boys.
Let's fuck shit up.
Yeah. So now in the new game, oh my God, in the new game, we finally get our bros. We finally get to make, instead of just having it be Nemesis who get all the love and attention, now we can make like side stories with our troops, friendship, loyalty. They can betray us if we don't treat them right. And
it's more like compelling them to come to your side versus complete brainwashing them.
There's no branding. Yeah. Everyone that's on your team is there because they want to be.
Yeah.
You can persuade them and stuff, and you can shun them as well. They don't really get a choice to say no, but they do act less like I'm a mindless.
Yeah.
I'm just another soldier. Send me wherever. And I'm really interested to see how the betrayal is going to come into play.
Yeah.
See, because
it might be good, it might suck. Like, so you're
what
number
if you're
2.
yeah? What if your best guy
just says fuck you? I run shit.
So they've added a lot. Now there's instead of 2, the areas in Mordor weren't small. They were pretty big.
Open, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But now,
which was a bitch to travel. Most of the time.
Was. But that's not a bad thing. They did need a lot of space to put up 15 captains and But now with Shadow of War, there's going to be 5 regions or so. I mean, there's going to be a ton. Not only that, each region is going to have their own sort of wilderness, their own unique setting.
Habitat, kind of, yeah.
And along with that, their own fortress, which you will have to siege in order to sort of capture that region from Sauron's forces. So they've added a new dynamic, or at least a new rank to the system. Now above the war chiefs is an overlord who sort of dominates the area. And they will... Each one is completely unique to the player, of course. With such a random system you have in place, I'm not going to see the same one that you're going to see.
Mm-hmm.
Not like in Mordor.
It's like playing a different game.
Yeah. Remember in Mordor where like the campaign missions were pretty much the same in the first area?
Yeah.
Where you'd fight the same dude? Yeah. That's not going to be the case, hopefully, in this next one. So when you siege a fortress, you have to take out their defenses and capture specific points. And so if you were to kill a lot of the overlord's war chiefs and stuff, he'll mention that when you go to face him in the throne room.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you kill his drake or his siege minions, or
a drake is a dragon.
Yeah. Or his I don't know what they would be called here, but or if you kill a grog, which is essentially a cave troll, he'll mention that, and he'll talk about what you've done to his fortress.
Yeah. And
then the big fight ensues.
So it's kind of like every move you make is going to be remembered.
Yeah, that's the main motto of the entire game that they've been pushing for. It's called "Nothing Will Be Forgotten."
Yeah.
That's the whole tagline of this game. So when you defeat an overlord, you can install one of your guys, and another new mechanic or concept, I guess, is that each orc is from a different tribe. Mm-hmm. So we've got orcs from Trickster tribe, I think.
Yeah, the last one, they're all just kind of mushed together.
Yeah, they didn't really specify.
Yeah.
They were just randomized orcs. In this one, they're more specialized.
Yeah.
They're all they all have got their sort of tricks up their sleeves. I think is it the Trickster tribe, right? Or is it a mystic?
A mystic.
I think it's mystic. Where they can teleport.
Yeah.
To you
Smoke
and stuff.
Bombs and
Smoke
shit.
bombs. Then you got what is it? I think it's machine. They'll have like a bunch of traps and stuff. They'll have machinery on them.
More mechanized.
Mm-hmm. And so they will change the look of not only the fortress itself, but the wilderness as well.
That's what I really liked about all the previews and stuff. It's like every if you put like one of your guys at the head of a thing, the complete skin of the throne is changed.
The fortress is changed. The outlying areas are changed.
Yeah.
Everything gets updated, with your colors as well.
Yeah.
And your banners and stuff. And not only that, but each orc, in addition to having their own tribe, they have their own subclasses as well, like Trickster and Destroyer and stuff like that. They've also added a new orc body type. which is he's huge.
Yeah,
he's a really
kind of
beefy
like
guy.
Like in between an orc and a grog.
Yeah,
yeah,
like a love child, I guess.
That's a
never
weird
mind.
couple there.
I feel sick for saying that. And so, and one of the previews that they showed, it was like the first gameplay video that I think I showed you. It was the alpha footage where they did this fortress siege, and the guy at the head of the gate was saying stuff. He was saying, I bled for you, or like I worked for you, I bled for you, and you left me to die.
Yeah.
So now I'm come to get my revenge. And
how you gonna leave me here, homie?
And he's been infused with the Dark Lord's powers, which makes it even more cool because it's like he was left to die. The Dark Lord brought him back. He's like, I'm coming for you. This is good. So when Talion was battling him, it was a noticeable difference. The sound was drowned out from all the clanging from below, and his veins were popping out of his head. I mean, the curse was really going. And then he managed to kill him, stabbed his eye out, I think, and threw him over the edge. So they went on a little bit of ways. Talion sort of by himself on this rooftop, and he comes out of nowhere, and it says cheated death right underneath it. And he throws Talion down, and he says, think you could kill me that easily? He pulls out a dagger, about to stab Talion, about to die. And then your boy comes out of nowhere, an archer.
Yeah.
Shoots an arrow, freaking takes out his arm.
Yeah.
And then it focuses on him for a moment, and then he says, gotcha, and let loose.
Like, gotcha, mate.
Yep. And then they showed off another mechanic with this, which they upgraded their RPG system so extensively. So much. Before, in Shadow of Mordor, the only way to change your appearance was through pre-designed skins, and the only real RPG system was the runes that you could put into your weapons, which would give you various buffs, combat advantages, and stuff like that. Now in this, you have armor pieces, I think hand pieces, helmets and stuff.
Yeah.
You can upgrade your ring. So there's a bunch of loot. There's a bunch of stuff that you can possibly get with this. And
I'm gonna make my guy look fucking dope.
You got to get the right gear. You
gotta
hope so that you gotta hope the gear's in your
orcs.
I know.
On their bitch asses.
Oh, and we actually need to talk about this real quick. Microtransactions.
Okay.
They are introducing that into Shadow of War. A little disappointing, but they are more in the form of chess, like loot chess, I guess.
Like a package deal kind of thing.
Sort of. Think of a card pack that you would get
Yeah.
from like a card game or something, stuff like that. And however, they've stated that it's just to get things faster. You can still earn all of the stuff that they're selling.
They're just gonna make it a lot harder to get.
I feel like they are.
Yeah.
They said that it's... Well, actually, they were very vague about it. They said more along the lines of, you can still get... As long as you put in the hours, you can still get all this stuff.
Yeah.
But how many hours does that mean? So, the thing is if they make it too frustrating, I'm gonna be annoyed.
Yeah.
And very disappointed.
I don't
but
care.
let's
I'm
hope
still gonna play the shit out of it.
But the thing is, yeah, I know I will too. But it's just just frustrating.
Irritating,
I guess.
yeah.
But they did say that you will be able to earn the premium currency in game by doing like weekly challenges and stuff like that. So it's not all bad. There was one other thing I was going to talk about Shadow of War.
So this is your Shadow of War, huh? Episode.
It has to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I could spend 2 episodes talking about this thing, honestly.
Probably me too. Yeah.
I'm so hyped for this. It's gonna be so much fun. Let's see. It was about... Okay, I think I've lost it. But they put out a lot of promotional material for this game. I've showed you.
Mm-hmm.
They have two really funny, one really funny one. It's called Eat It, Jerry. And it's just they basically go. It's this orc that's just smashing this guy's electric scooter. He's like, "Eat it, Jerry," and it's this old guy, and then it's like going back through his life, and the dude's just he's on this boat, and the orc launches a catapult. He's like, "Eat it, Jerry," and then he's smashing up his car at a gas station, and then it goes to him, like the human playing the game, to Jerry playing the game. And he says, "Eat it, Thrak." And the guy looks at him, and he's like, "Oh, oh shit!" It's so. And the other one to that was Not Today, Brian, where it starts off in this medical room, and they're about to pull the plug on this guy, and the orc comes in, and he's like, "Not today, Brian," and he's like caressing him. The guy, then Brian's like on the roof, and he falls over, and the orc catches him. "Not today, Brian," and it's just like, "Yes, this is what I want." This sort of system of loyalty. Oh, so here's what I was going to talk about. There's a new system in place where to become a bodyguard of a war chief, or to infiltrate a fortress so that they can mess things up in there when you intend to siege it. You have to pit one of your orcs against someone else that's there. The only thing is you can't intervene in this fight at all. So you have to be really strategic about who you want to throw in there. Because not only that, you won't really know who you're going up against half the time. So, and if they die, they're gonna die. Yeah. So, and unfortunately, and the thing is, I don't know if that's gonna come back to bite you. If they'll come back and say, "Why didn't you help me?" or something like that. So, hopefully not, because that doesn't.
Why did you put me up against him?
Well, you see,
maybe
if you trained a little better.
I like that it's like, instead of being a ruler, you're more like a team leader. Like,
yeah, it's more. You're not like, you are sort of leading the charge, but you're not as much as a forefront player. You're more in the background, moving things. You're messing with the politics as it is. So I really like that. Instead of just sending the initiation, like in Mordor, you would just do a simple mission and that'd be it. Now you're putting your guy on the line, in order to get the trust, in order to be able to siege this place. So imagine sending your number 2 in, and the battles could go either way. I've seen some that went like south. One guy dropped, all of his health was gone, and then he came back and beat the player's orc. So it could go either way, and you have to be really careful about who you want to go in there. Maybe not your number 2.
I would do, I would pick like a designated like war guy, like the person to send in there. That kind of is just badass all around.
Just send them in, and see, I'm so glad that they expanded this, because Mordor, really, the only thing it had going for it was the Nemesis system. And that was it. Once you branded everyone, that was the meat of the game. That was done. So now you have so much more free. There's so much stuff. It's a real sandbox now, where you can do whatever you want. Not to mention, the orcs are so different. Their facial animations, the way they look now, they look
like that guy with the 2 heads.
The twin or something. He was insane. I would have persuaded him to join my team. Because that's pretty cool. There was actually one guy in Mordor who had it was like something the brother, and he had his head's brother like spiked onto his shoulder plate.
That's shitty.
He's really rare. You don't really come across him often. But he'll like scratch the head, and it'll be like, "What was that, brother? Kill him." Yeah, I know. So that was cool. I hope that they bring him in. With the Nemesis Forge system, we've done this. You can carry over your most loyal follower from Mordor and your worst nemesis, and essentially bring them into the game. Now, how this will play out, I don't know. If they'll just be locked to one area,
Yeah.
or if one will be like an overlord or something.
Yeah.
Either way, that'd be pretty cool, I think. But hopefully the follower is a little bit more fleshed out and not just there, I guess. And I hope that they make it more accurate to what the character is. Because a lot of the problem is we don't want them to lose what they are in the transfer. But we'll have a lot more complicated orcs now and a lot more complicated stories with them. So, I'm pumped.
Yeah.
Comes out second week of October.
Yeah, soon.
Pretty soon. We got 3 more weeks.
Yeah.
3 more weeks about. So, that's my take. I'll be talking about this next week. I'm sure once more stuff comes out, but...
Yeah.
But
send them out. Send them off.
Let's send them off.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of episode 2 of Updata.
Hope you enjoyed it, and Mom.
Oh yeah, my mom told me to say hi, Mom. Hi, Mom. I'm on TV.
Yeah, Mom, I love you. Keeping it real out there for your boys.
All right, see y'all
Signing
later.
off.
Yeah, signing off.
Updata.